name is Rain, and welcome to Still Water, made by Studio Clump, I believe. It wasn't exactly clear who it was made by, but I'll put the link in the description. Welcome to Still Water, and I was just looking at itch.io, some shorter games, because I have some game series going on, and while I do enjoy the games a lot, I was just thinking like, well, let's play a short, kind of like one-shot game. So this is Stillwater, and I'm very excited to play. It looked kind of like a mystery kind of game, so we will see how it goes. Right now, I'm not really hearing anything, but I guess we'll just click start. All right. This is a work of fiction. The resemblance to any real-life people is purely coincidental. This game contains depictions of horror, mature themes, violence, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Good to know. That is good to know. Caretaker. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here anymore, Nina. I feel like I'm going crazy. Calm down if we can just talk it out. So many strange things keep happening after another. Every day there is this damp dripping sound. I thought it was just something leaking at first, but I check every faucet, every ceiling, every pipeline, and still I hear it everywhere, constantly echoing in my ears. Oh, but the water. I find random pools of water just appear out of nowhere, just like the dripping. But it's at night. It's at night when it comes. I don't know if it's my paranoia, but I swear I could hear footsteps walking along the hallways, walking on pools of water. They walk, and they walk, upstairs, then downstairs, and upstairs and downstairs, and upstairs and downstairs and upstairs, and it goes on and on and on and on and on like that. But somehow it does come to an end, and it ends, all in front of your grandfather's room. I know that this is a lot, but you have to believe me. No matter how many times I clean, it just won't end. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sorry, Nina. It's okay. I understand. Thank you for taking care of my grandfather. Nina, please listen to me. I don't know what's happening around here, but the woman on the phone cautiously looks around before speaking again in a hushed tone. Something terrible is lurking through this house. I don't know what it is, but please, as soon as you get back, take your grandfather and just leave this place. I can't just leave. That's my home. Please, Nina, this place, it's not safe. I don't know what you saw, but I can't just leave things like this. It's my home. It's my home. Ooh. Diner. Amid a foggy morning, there sits a man by the corner of a booth. This is fun. He drinks black coffee and, depending on his mood, occasionally orders a donut. And today it was just black coffee. Oh, he looks tired. Ugh. I swear I've never seen that amount of paperwork in my life. A freaking mountain worth of it. You're a valuable member of our team, Hugo. My foot. This is great. I'm starting to believe that I was bamboozled into joining their agency. Hugo Laurent, age 30, takes a good look at his cup of joe and chugs it all in one sitting. Jeez. He then continues to grumble to himself about last night's grueling work at the office. I really need to find a different job. As he contemplates his poor life choices, he looks out towards the early mist. There was something inherently terrifying about the fog to him, how it engulfs everything and nothing. Even if it disappears, it always leaves behind traces. Proof of it remaining. Even in a quaint little town like this, I can't even run my fate, I guess. Hugo finally stares at the compiled newspaper clippings he put together. Some of them from recent events, but mainly all were past headlines of missing person cases. No matter how many times I see this, it's still just as hard to look at. Fixating case after case, he can't help but remind himself that there is a reason for all of this. An all too personal reason. Seeing strange things come with a price. In the end, I'm the one doing this to myself. Sounds rough. Mind if I join? An annoyingly familiar voice interrupts his train of thought. He slowly looks up to see the one responsible, although reluctantly. Good morning, Hugo. Hugo scowls and turns away from him. He then gathers the files and shoves it back into the binder. Meanwhile, the tall man takes this as an initiative and sits at the opposite end of the booth. He greets the waitress passing by and orders himself the hefty body breakfast special with an extra plate. As usual, the waitress is happy to oblige and goes back to the counter to relay his order. The man then looks back at Hugo. He sees the empty cup and the now jumbled newspaper clippings, all the while Hugo is trying to ignore him. You really should eat something with that black coffee. Not ordering any donuts today? I'm fine, Noah. I'm just not in the mood today. Mood, okay? Not even a little? There is a momentary silence between them before Noah disturbs it once more. Well, too bad for you. I ordered a big breakfast for the two of us. Two? As if the world could grace Noah with an even more perfect punchline. The food arrives. Wow, that was quick. Why the hell did you order for the two of us? Just eat what you want to eat. Don't worry about me. Wow, this looks so delicious, right, Hugo? Are you even listening to me? Come on, we both know that if you don't eat now, who knows when you will, and I'm not about to let you faint again. So open wide. Noah DeLeon, age 27, a natural-born charmer, is just as equally persuasive as he is threatening. Oh, threatening. Are you, sir? With a pensive look, Hugo finally gives in and eats the generous spoonful without further complaints. Oh, he's spoon-feeding him. That's It's good. Right? Good food will always help cheer you up. Damn him. I got swept away again. Oh, by the way, the chief will be out for a business trip. She mentioned it will be for a couple of days. When did she tell you this? I didn't hear anything about it. Yesterday, I think? Yesterday? She told me to sort out the cabinets yesterday. She didn't mention anything about a business trip. I guess it was a pretty sudden one. Well, I mean, she did tell me to tell you. Okay. And lucky me, I know where you go every morning. I like your jacket. Just wanted to point that out. You know what? I'm not surprised anymore. Well, what do you want to do? We technically have the day off. I'm gonna head back to the office. There's a couple of boxes I didn't get a chance to sort out. Oh man, you're miserable and you're gonna go back to work? In that case, I'll come with you. On your day off? Why? You could just rest for the day. And pass up this opportunity to get to know you better? Quit it. After their enlightening banter, the two of them finish their breakfast, pay for their meals, and head to Hugo's car. Nice car. As Noah opens the door to the passenger seat, he notices a bloodhound sleeping inside. Oh, the big dog stares at the sound of the car opening and lazily stares at Noah. Ah, I'm sorry, big guy. He then closes the door while trying not to make too much noise to disturb its occupant. Colby. At the sound of his name, his heavy-lidded eyes slowly peek to see who calls for him. Oh, so cute! Hi, puppy. It is his one and only partner, his human. Oh. As if finally realizing who he is or where he is, the old bloodhound stirs up from his sleep, pounces at Hugo, and proceeds to wag his tail uncontrollably. Oh, don't you just love dogs? I feel more like this guy right now. Oh, bark. Good morning again, Colby. Oh, there he is. Look how happy he is. Good morning again, Colby. Had a nice nap, Colby. 8 years old. Hugo's most faithful and loving partner in crime. Oh, I need me a dog like that. Has the biggest tendency to just sleep all over the place. Noah, who was witnessing all of this in front of him from the backseat, chuckles to himself. He is amazed and slightly defeated at Hugo's sudden surge of energy. Yeah, you didn't get that. He only acts this way for his dog. It doesn't matter how many times I try. When it comes to boosting up his mood, no one can beat Colby. That is right. Agency, 750. The three headed back to the office, the space just the same as Hugo left it. A decent, organized mess. That sounds like my room. To his credit, for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believes he did a fair good job. Yeah, it looks like he did a pretty good job. I mean, it's pretty clean. Albeit, could have been better. Probably, but, you know, we all can. Still miserable looking. Wow, you really outdid yourself, Hugo. It looks less crowded. Oh, sorry. It looks less crowded. Sorry, that's him speaking. Ah, shut it, will you? I said I was gonna get to it. Puppy! Thanks, boy. Aw, he's happy around his dog. That's funny. Before Hugo could continue to give deserved head pats, he notices someone. A woman stands timidly, peering outside from the storefront. This is like the cliche woman walks into a detective's office sort of thing. And she's like, I got a bad problem. And then he's like, fine, I'll take care of it. And then they go through this whole mess. And then at the end of it, she's like, well, thanks, I'm gonna leave now. And he's like, great. The woman appears a bit frantic. Disheveled and wearing ill-fitted clothes, she appears to be distressed about something. When she finally makes eye contact with Hugo, she immediately rushes in. Oh yeah, she is a mess. Girl, you need some sleep. I'm so sorry. I know that the close sign is up, but I saw you come in and Are you alright, miss? I need your help. My grandfather, Before she can continue, Noah swiftly intervenes. She just pops out of nowhere. It's okay, we'll hear what you have to say. So please, why don't you take a seat? Noah gestures to one of the empty chairs. The poor woman hesitates for a moment before heavily sighing in relief. She then walks towards the corner of the room and sits on the sofa. Can you start off by telling us your name? I'm sorry for earlier. My name is Nina Mortimer. Mortimer. My name is Nina Mortimer. Okay. I need help watching over my grandfather tonight. Watching over your grandfather? Yes. I'm sorry, Miss Mortimer, but I don't quite understand. Is he in danger? I'm afraid he is. Miss Mortimer, if that is the case, wouldn't contacting the police be better? No! I've tried requesting their help, but they all gave me the same answer. There is nothing they can do about it. If only I knew who Louis was. Louis? That's how I felt. Nina fidgets at the name. She looks to the side before reaching out from her bag for an antique letter. My grandfather, he received a cryptic message the other day. It didn't come with an address or the name of the sender. However, the only thing I did pick up was that name. As she hands over the letter, Hugo notices her hand slightly shaking. Whatever lies in this note must have shaken her this badly. Must have shaken her this badly. Interesting. Delicately, I love that word. I said it and then never again. Hugo removes the content of the envelope and unfolds it. At first glance, it seems like any normal written message. A person named Louis asking the other, Henry, to come meet him by the lake at midnight. That doesn't sound safe. Needing to share something important with him. This does give me, Phoenix Wright kind of vibes. However, what's eerily striking about this letter is not the message itself. Rather, at the bottom of the page, a sentence far more disturbing is written. I am coming for you, Henry. See, that's danger. That's bad. That's not good. She looks tired. Were there any other letters like this? Yes, a few of them. I thought it was a sick joke at first, but this one was different. Up until now, I've never heard of anyone by that name. Not a relative or family friend, but they clearly know who my grandfather is. If I don't do something about this, I'll lose him too. Oh no, don't cry. Don't cry like that. Oh no, you'll get me emotional. Don't cry like that. Just by uttering the words alone, Nina breaks down. Hiding away her tear-streaked face, she begins to quietly sob to herself. As an act of comfort, Colby sits closely to Nina. Oh, while Noah fetches tissues for her. Hugo, on the other hand, is puzzled. He's like, what the heck? This very well could have been a prank, but she seems certain that whoever or whatever this Lewis person is, they're coming. Do you want more tissues? I'll do it. I'll take on your case. Oh, okay. Just, yeah, better than paperwork, right? For a moment, silence fills the room. Only stares are directed at Hugo until Nina finally stands up and walks towards him. You'll take it? Hugo simply nods. Thank you, thank you! You don't know how much this means to me. We're glad to help, Mrs. Nina. Nina's fine. Well, Nina, we'll do our best. Nina slightly smiles at Hugo before reaching into her bag once more and taking out a note. 4970 Church Street. This is my address. I'll be sure to greet you once when you get there, Detective. She politely bows once more before heading to her car and drives back home. Once out of sight, Hugo turns to look at his cluttered desk. Still messy, but presentable. I guess I'll have to sort these out later, again. Car, 5:30. From the ongoing downpour to the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. Still miles off from their destination, Hugo constantly checks the rearview mirror. Noah, usually chats his ear off by now, sits completely still. He looks out to the passing streetlights, reserved and distant. Hey, you're a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong? Ha, this is a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Hugo? No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot, that's all. Are these two gay? I'm straight. I wouldn't pick up on it, but I'm just curious. So do you miss talking to me a lot? Just say it. I didn't want to offend Nina earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished. But it's her last name that caught me off guard. You mean how to pronounce it? Have you ever heard about the Mortimers? They're a pretty distinguished family. Not disgusting. It's my brain that can't read. They're a pretty distinguished family. Well, they used to be. What do you mean? They've been struck with so many tragedies that over time people began to believe they were cursed or something. Interesting. Every other year I would see a headline on the local news about one of the family members' deaths. Oh, that's dark. And you know what's strange? All of them have been labeled as accidents. Ugh. No foul play, no nothing. Just another unfortunate event for the family. Maybe I understand why she wouldn't go to the police. She probably thought they'd perceive her as paranoid or hysterical, or worse, crazy. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find there. Is that why you decided to come with me? Well, partially. I'm more worried about you, though. Me? Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decide to do some pretty reckless shit, I'll be there and drive you to the local hospital. Ugh. Besides, two are better than one. Exactly. I was fine with Colby coming with me. Well, have you heard that 3 is better than 2? Ugh. Mortimer Estate. Passing through countless dirt roads and steep cliffs, the estate reveals itself beyond the evergreen. It's a pretty place. I'd live there. Nestled and tucked away from prying eyes, it stands tall, sorry. Of course it's still, looming from a distance. Hugo and Noah could only... Jesus. Hugo and Noah could only gaze at the sheer scale of the manor as they parked adjacent to Nina's car. Wow, and to think she came all this way just to request us. It took us more than a couple of hours to get here. Maybe she really didn't have a choice. What do you mean? Come on, she's waiting for us. Immediately after exiting the driver's seat, a sudden sharp pain weighs heavy on Hugo's chest. Ugh. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to gasp for air. His gaze hazes as he leans close to the car. Like a fish drawn out from sea, he desperately heaves. But this ache he harbors pales in comparison to a pain far more excruciating. Is it the house? No, something far more sinister. He feels it. Someone is watching him. Ugh, creepy. A piercing gaze fixed on him. Like leering at a bug and waiting to strike. I'll never forgive you. Ugh. What the hell? Damn it, already? I need to hurry or else... Hey, are you alright? He doesn't look alright. He looks kind of red. Noah calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixated trance. Dog. Oh! Colby nudges his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well-being. Did you hear that just now? Hear what? That voice! It was so close to my ear, Is everything alright? No. Oh, never mind. Oh, I'm fine, don't mind me. I'm just a bit winded out from the trip, that's all. I'd be happy to make you coffee at the very least. If it's no trouble. No, not at all. It's the least I can do. Once again, his subtle uneasiness from Nina surfaces. You don't look good. But before Hugo could get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. What if she's the murderer? That wouldn't make much sense though, would it? No. Are you sure you're alright? You sounded like you were choking earlier. I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't back out now. Listen to me. I think you should... Noah abruptly cuts his lecture short as he notices Nina stopping by the front door. She stands there silently, as if contemplating something. I don't know. Sorry. Jesus, I can't read myself. I know this may sound rude, but I didn't get a chance to know your names. Well, you were pretty out of it when we walked in. I'm really sorry about that. No worries. This is Detective Hugo Laurent. His assistant, Colby, Doug. And I'm his second assistant, Noah DeLeon. Second assistant. Nina. Ha! This seems so surreal, just like a cartoon. That is a cartoon. I love this art style. Ha! Nina meekly smiles before turning away from them. I haven't been quite honest with you, Detective Laurent. Oh, no kidding. Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decides that in this situation, words are not enough. You'll see for yourselves what I mean. That's not comforting. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Please keep the dog safe. Oh my gosh. Hugo is about to enter through the foyer when he feels a tug on his arm. Don't forget what I told you. If something happens, let me know right away. You'll be the first to know. And with that, Noah releases his grip on Hugo. And off they go. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. Dun dun dun. Greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo notes that the interior is just as grand. Adorned with floral accents and antique paintings, it exudes an elegant charm found only in a resplendent house such as this. Resplendent? Okay. However, Hugo notices something even more distant than the splendor. This house is much more terrifying inside than out. Please come this way. Bracing themselves, they enter the dimly lit drawing room. At first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated at the far corner. However, on closer inspection, he now understands the reason for all of Nina's unsettling vagueness. Grandfather, we have guests. He looks possessed. Wait, did she say grandfather? He is not old. I thought he looked too, creepy. Sitting on the armchair is a young man. He is dressed in a white-collared down dress shirt, tucked in with black slacks and black penny loafers. He's not a grandfather. He looks freaky. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there dazed with little acknowledgement of the people around him. Still, motionless, like a doll. Oh no. Is it a mannequin? Grandpa, this, again, not matching the image here. Grandpa, these are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Laurent and his 2 assistants, Colby and Noah. They're going to help us. Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. Yeah, no kidding. His eyes. The man before them is supposed to be frail and older than any of them. And yet he remains forever unchanging. Forever young. Oh! Oh! Lore idea. They found a fountain of youth, and that's why they're cursed. Or something like that. They've come a long way, so I'll be making some coffee. Would you also like some, Grandpa? I don't think he speaks. The young man still does not reply back, never glancing at Nina or anyone else in the room, only fixated on the rain. Okay. I'll be sure to make a cup for you too. Not that you'll drink it, but she then timidly gestures to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer. Bearing more questions, the two follow Nina outside. What the hell is happening? But before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. There is an all too familiar air about Henry Mortimer. His eyes, yeah, no kidding, they literally glow. They're similar to his own. Oh. Whatever he must be longing for, Hugo knows it will not end well. Ah. Interesting. Nina, that man. Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but Nina draws something out from her pocket. Okay, that's a pretty good picture of him. It's an antique picture of a young man with slick back hair wearing a luxurious suit. It's luxurious indeed. Sorry. He appears to be poised and refined. Heck yeah, he is. A complete contrast to the current Henry Mortimer. I just wrote something about me and fictional characters, man. I don't know what it is. Nina. This isn't much to go by, but I swear he's the same person. Then why does he look so young? It happened a few nights ago. What happened a few nights ago? I was on my way to get a cup of tea when I heard a loud thud coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked so different. So many things were rushing to my head, and yet he felt so familiar to me. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He just looked younger. Gosh, her face. That was also the same night I found the letter. It was next to him, already opened. I'm sorry again for all of this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The pools of water, the dripping sounds, the letter, and now this? Aww. Maybe my family really is cursed. No, they're not. Sorry, he's so straightforward. They're not. Curses aren't real. Okay, yeah, he is straightforward. Detective? I think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In reality, the ones who fixated on it feeds off of it. Rumors, doubts, lies, all of those things are what they want to become. What they want to become. Real. They want to become real. Okay. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. You did feel a little funny when you got out of the car. Personally, I think you were caught up in all of this. But I assure you, we'll see this through. For you and your grandfather. Thank you. Good. So straightforward. Now our first priority is to find out more about Lewis. Nina, the letter you showed us back in the agency, do you have it with you? Ah, yes, it's here. Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back. Of course. Oh, are we gonna get into some gameplay here soon? It is just a lot of reading. I am sorry. I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor. Got it. Before they leave to do their own investigations, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder. He leans in close enough for Nina to not hear. Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina. Especially Nina. Me? Okay. I'm counting on you. Puppy. You too, boy. Aw, you too, puppy. And with that, Hugo heads upstairs, starting his investigation. Mortimer Estate, 11:30. After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here. This is it. Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and opens it. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From customized drapes to the vintage furniture, everything here exudes that extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a sense of gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is moldering, despite its preserved nature. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. Mortimer Estate. He searches and searches, still with no sign of anything. He's making a mess. Not one thing pertaining to Louise. Sorry, Louise. I keep saying Louise. It's Lewis. Damn it! Nothing! It's as if he cleared out everything. Just blank everywhere. No, it has to be here. I'm just missing something. He ponders again before remembering the letter. What is he looking for? This is the only proof Lewis exists so far. I'll try to read it again. Maybe I overlooked it. As he takes the letter out from the envelope, he notices a change within. Bearing no foreboding threat at the bottom of the page, it looks just like a regular letter. What the? If you can't come, then I understand. It's pretty dreary after all. But if I can ask one last favor of you, could you keep my locket? I know this... Oh, that must be what he's looking for. I know this is selfish of me, but I'd like for you to have it. I'd be happy knowing it's with you. Thank you for everything, Henry. Forever yours, Lewis. Is it Louise? It might be Louise. Is this a lady? This might be a lady. I just assumed it was Lewis. It might be Louise. This is the same Louise? I thought he was the cause of all this. No, it's he. I don't understand. Neither do I. Without warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom, as if something unlocked itself. Hugo turns around and sees at the foot of the bed the chest. Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well. Left to rot on its own. Preparing himself, he opens the chest. Inside, scrambled together, are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets. Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young man found dead by the lake. Ooh. An unidentified young man was found on the morning of XXXXXXX, 3 days prior to his death, according to police. Ruled out as a suicide, police have claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. It's a harsh way to go. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed. XX comments. No claims of his body has been made yet. Lewis or Louise, who knows? By the corner of Hugo's eyes, he spots a bright glint buried beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. Oh, it's Harry Potter. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. A locket of brilliant gold shines embellished, embellished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside its safeguards, a picture of a young man with glasses, smiling brightly. This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty. I'm surprised it still shines like this. And this picture. Did he put this here? No, it might have been Henry. But why would he store it away like this? What should I do? Oh! Take the locket, leave the locket. Well, like any game, you would take it as evidence, wouldn't you? Also, I have no idea how long this game is. I hope it's not too long. I heard it was short, but I don't know. Take the locket or leave the locket. We will take it, just in case. I should probably hold on to this for now. I could always put it back. Hugo is about to put everything back in the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his leg. No. What? Water? A pool of water relentlessly spreads across the floor, already seeping into the chest. What? How high is this water? Damn it, no! Suddenly, lights shut off. Everything's in water! A scream is heard, followed by did I do this? But my myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but he stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Oh, hell no. Ooh, who is this? Looming over him stands a tall and ominous figure. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. Who is this? It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows that it's far from it. No, this very thing is trying to imitate a human form. Trying to be human. Hugo could only stare back. Paralyzed with fear, he is forced to watch the horror as it slowly creeps towards him. Oh, hell no. Oh my gosh, I would run and scream, let's be honest. It's just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. Why is it so tall and lanky? But this time, it's drawing nearer, inching ever so closely. Ugh. The words to call out to Colby or Noah fail to reach out. Lodged in his throat, he struggles in pain. With his breathing towel, he tries to force his body to move. Then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but malice and contempt, it speaks. Face. Don't get in my way. Is that what it said? Did I read that right? All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and the entity disappears. The tension from his body finally releases its agonizing grip and he gasps desperately for air. His vision blurred and breathing jagged, he staggered towards the door. He yanks at the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed. Oh gosh. Fudge! Noah! Colby! To his dismay, he is only greeted with silence at the other end of the door. Damn it! From a distance, he faintly hears the sound of Colby's relentless barking as it gets further away from the house. Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so. Frick this! Frantically looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on YouTube or not, so I'm sorry. Without a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Bit by bit, the window cracks and gets larger with each blow, splitting off smaller pieces. What the hell is this thing made out of? Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all his strength. He is left for a final blow. Damn you, just break already! Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railing he can grab a hold of. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. What the heck? Which window did I break? Is it behind that? Despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of vines. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet to his luck, the path of vines he clutches starts to tear away from the wall. Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another but fails when his hand slips out of reach. Shit! Oh gosh. Clamoring wildly as he loses grip on the ivy, he crash lands down onto a thicket of bushes. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even that is laborious, and immense pain spreads across not only his back but his entire body. God, I'm getting too old for this. Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up. There's still time. I can do this. I have to do this. With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake, where this strategy starts and ends. Mortimer Estate. I hope no one gets murdered. I know this is like a horror, but like I really don't want anyone dying. I don't watch a lot of horror movies because because I find it more sad than anything. Finally entering through the park, Hugo calls out to Colby and Noah. Colby, Noah, where are you? He hears faintly the sounds of barking and echoes of people yelling in the distance. He rushes towards the echoes, guiding him through the downpour. With his heart racing and blood rushing to his head, he finds his way to the lake. Drawing closer, he sees Nina giving chase to her grandfather. Unfortunately, she does not get too far as Noah stops her. Grandpa, stop! Grandpa! Let me go! My grandpa, he's... Nina, please, it's dangerous. You'll get hurt too. I don't care. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. It's at that instant Hugo trudges against the water, pursuing in Nina's stead. Hugo, no, don't. Please falls deaf to his ears. Please fall. Not even the whines and worries cries of his partner could make him turn back. Determined, he trudges further in. What is happening? Nearing the deep end, he sees Henry Mortimer gazing directly at the abyss. He looks even more frail and disheveled, as if the life had been drained from him, surrendering it all to the lake. Before Henry could lean in, Hugo reaches out and tugs at his arm. Mr. Mortimer, listen to me. Nothing is waiting for you down there, so please come back to the shore with me. Motionless and unresponsive, he still stares deeply into the water. There's so many things we cannot afford to lose in our lives, and you're one of them. To Nina, you're all she has left. She needs you, Mr. Mortimer. Hugo felt it, a slight jolt from Henry's arm, as if stirred by the mention of Nina. He slowly turns to face Hugo. He looks like the guy from... He looks like one of those guys from BDS, the band, with glowing eyes, jeez. I'm not saying he doesn't look good. He looks fine. It's just, you know. Nina? However, just as cruel and violent as the storm, Henry jerks back, wrenching his arm away from Hugo's hold on him. All of this is my fault. If only I got to Louis sooner, then none of this would have happened. Henry inches even closer to the edge. Louis, I'm sorry. I should have... Should have what? Gone in his stead? Gone with him? You know that wouldn't resolve anything. Not for you or Louis. I read what he wrote to you those years ago. He understood if you didn't want him to come see him. But the thing is, Mr. Mortimer, Louis never thought anything less of you. Locket is proof of that. Louis's locket. Yes, it's a symbol of his love for you. That's why you don't have to shoulder all of that pain by yourself anymore. We can talk about it. About you and Louis. All of it, together. Oh, his eyes turn normal. Hugo extends not only his hand to him, but a promise. A promise that Henry had yearned for so long. A way to forgive himself. He hesitates at first. What fool believes in a deserved forgiveness? Such a thing doesn't exist. And yet, despite everything, Hugo still reaches out to him. To a stranger. Maybe he can be forgiven. Just as he was about to reach out for Hugo, a hand slithers around Henry's instead. Its arms unnaturally contort around him while its head perches on his shoulder. This thing. This Louis is no longer pretending to be human. With piercing cold green eyes, it glares directly at Hugo, mocking him, cursing him, wishing nothing but despair. We can be saved. We can be forgiven. Panic. There is only one true way out of this. I will share with you the most happiest of endings. Before Hugo could reach out for Henry's hand, he disappears into the water. Mr. Mortimer! Without hearing the anguished cries and desperate pleas, Hugo dives after him. Oh no, into the abyss. This is a bad thing. Who knows anymore where we are? Ugh. Plunging into icy waters, Hugo feels shocks running rampant throughout his body. Like spikes continuously piercing from his legs to the tips of his fingers. Fiercely and unyielding. His chest tightens and his heart races and begins to kick his legs. Hoping whichever way he goes, he'll find his way to Henry. Swimming deeper and deeper in, he sees faintly a figure slowly descending into the darkness. As he finally gets closer to Henry, long snake-like arms stretch across the void and grab Hugo's neck. Oh, heck no. Violently squeezing all the air out from him. He tries desperately to wrench its hands away, but with each struggle, Hugo's movements begin to weigh heavier and heavier. Lewis, where are you, Lewis? It's looking for Lewis. Digging deep into his coat pockets, he grabbed. Oh, it's a good thing I grabbed the locket. I was just thinking, like, what if it was bad that I took the locket and started this whole downfall? No, it's a good thing I took the locket. Okay, digging deep into his coat's pocket, he grasped tightly in his hand the locket that Henry kept and had long forgotten, holding it out as it shines ever so brightly in the dark. What is that? What is that? Ah. There you are. It releases its grip on Hugo and instead reaches out for the locket. Taking this as a chance, he drops the chain and kicks it with all his might to grab Henry's arm. With his heart burning and his body screaming, he swims desperately to the surface. Yeah, buddy, you need air. Almost there. I just have to. As the lights from the surface begin to blur, Hugo makes one last attempt to reach for it. With his limbs worn out and his energy spent, this is all he can do. Before he loses his consciousness, he notices a figure swimming towards him, getting closer and closer. Is it? I forgot his name already. Noah? Is it Noah? And then everything fades to black. Oh, who really knows? Drifting along with what feels like an endless sea, Hugo curses through the waves, through wave after wave, not knowing where he's going or caring for that matter. All he knows is that he's very, very tired. How long has it been since he had a good night's rest? It's been too long. Maybe I should take that rest now. No, don't die, please. I'd like that so much. I agree that you deserve it, but not here. I'm sorry for startling you. I just wanted to see you before I go. Lewis, you've done so much for me and Henry. Thank you. No worries. It's all good, bro. From a far-off distance, a voice cries out to him, beckoning for him to come back. Well, I guess this is it. Take care, Hugo. Like, who knows what time. With his eyes closed and his senses still returning, he feels the constant tugs and licks of a certain bloodhound. Yeah, we got Colby. Oh, whining as he tries to wake up his partner. Hugo! He also hears another familiar voice, too annoyingly close for his comfort. Eyes shut right open, he jerks up. Confused, Hugo looks around before he coughs up the remaining water in his lungs. Are you alright? Noah starts to pat his back while Colby continues to whine over Hugo. What happened? Where's Mortimer? Mr. Mortimer. He's safe, so is Nina. They're both okay. The police and the ambulance should be arriving soon. Oh, thank goodness. Isn't there more you have to say to me? Instead of, thank goodness? I swear you don't listen to a damn word I say. Oh, listen, buddy, listen. I know you're mad, but look, there's good reason. I'm sorry, Noah. Exhausted, he lets out a sigh. He then continues to pat Hugo's back aggressively when someone approaches them. I knew it. Detective Laurent? Oh, Nina. There's someone I want you to meet. Is it? Hey! I was like, it's the old man. I knew it. I knew it. Behind her stands an elderly man. That's much more like it. Frail in stature, he timidly looks to the side pensively as he ponders to himself. Although his youth has long faded, his eyes are what catches Hugo's attention. They're no longer piercing and vicious green, only eyes just like Nina's. Hello, Mr. Mortimer. Detective. I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. I always thought about it every day. What if Lewis lived on in this world? What if he stayed a little longer with me? It's because of that constant mindset I dragged everyone down. And I kept hurting not only me, but Nina especially. I was the one who kept hurting her, the one to blame for all of this. But you, someone that I've never met, still went out of your way to save me. Not knowing my burdens or my faults. Thank you. Hugo reaches out to Henry and smiles brightly at him. It's my pleasure, sir. But before he lets go, Henry tugs at Hugo's hand one last time. I hope that someday you two will overcome it. Oh! What do you hold on to, huh? The next day, 8 o'clock. Well, you got a mess to clean, buddy. Well, good morning, Hugo. You are definitely a morning person. You are not a day person. You're sorry, my jokes. You're bright and early. Morning. With much fervor. What? And haste? Hugo resumes writing on his notepad. Although by closer inspection, he looks like he's going to combust any minute. Are you writing up the report? Without looking up, Hugo responds back. Yeah, for the most part. You still need to write yours too. I will. But since I haven't had breakfast yet, and I don't like eating by myself. Do you want to share breakfast with me? Let me guess. 2 is better than 1? Bingo! Me! This guy is my personality. Wow, Hugo. You're really catching on. I'm so proud of you. Ah, shut it, will you? I swear, if only I hadn't fallen off from that goddamn window, maybe my report would have been shorter. Before Noah could begin to cut the bacon, he pauses at the mention of Hugo's report. Oh yeah, by the way, mind telling me what happened to the Mortimer's window? Listen, the room filled with water, there was a monster, I couldn't escape, couldn't breathe, and I escaped. I broke it. Well, that's obvious to me. What I don't understand is, why is it broken? Do you know how much it costs to repair a window like that? I know. It was really dumb of me. I'm sorry. Besides, I told Mr. Mortimer about it before we left. Honestly, I was expecting an earful from him. And also the bill. And, surprisingly enough, he said it was okay. So what? You just called it a day after all of that? Thank you so much, Mr. Mortimer. You broke it. You pay for it. You broke it. You buy it. Would you chill? Of course I'll pay for it. But each time I kept insisting, he just shrugged it off. Said that we already went through a lot for them, so this was nothing in comparison. Ugh. You know what? He's right. After all that we went through, I deserve at least a nap. Very, very, very least. Hugo puts down his pen and proceeds to head for the couch. Get the dog! Oh, cuddle and sleep. Hugo puts his pen down and proceeds to head for the couch. Colby follows after him. Wait, what about breakfast? You're still hungry? I'll eat it later. It's nap time now. Heavily sighing, Noah sets aside the food on his, food. Wow. Sorry for my English, guys. I'm really bad at it. Heavily sighing. I didn't even read it. Okay, it's fine. Ugh, I'm getting old. I mean, you are old. Shut it. Colby whines, asking for head scratches. Puppy. Ah, sorry, boy. Silently, Hugo scratches the back of Colby's ear and he leans closer to Noah. Yes, this is gay. This is so gay. You know, I'm glad that you came along yesterday. Oh, what's this? Are you getting chummy with me now? Call it chummy or whatever, but I really mean it. If you hadn't saved us back there... Look, I told you before, I'll be there whenever you get yourself into reckless shit. Besides, didn't you say this was nap time? Get some rest. You deserved it. You too. How do you rest like that? A calming silence fills the room as the three of them fall into a deep sleep. No big parties or celebrations, just each other's comfort and sharing the small but rewarding night's rest. Good end. Oh, I got the good end! Oh, I'm assuming if I didn't take the luck, that would have been a bad end. Thank you for playing. So, this game wasn't really like a game, I guess. It didn't have a lot of gameplay. It was just a story. So, I apologize for that. I don't know if I'll post this or not, but... Oh, this is the art for it? Oh, I like this. Oh, this is so cool. Dev notes. Oh. Writer and creator, Stillwater. Extremely nervous about writing my... Oh man, that's a lot to read. Anyways. Yeah, that was Stillwater. And I don't know... what am I talking about? Again, I don't know how long this video is. I don't know how interesting it is. I didn't set a timer, but I appreciate if I did... I appreciate if you did stick around if I did post it. I appreciate you a lot. And... yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you did watch, if I did post. But, yeah, that was Stillwater. Sorry it wasn't a lot of gameplay. It was just mostly story. But anyways, thank you, and I will see you all my next video. Goodbye!